I know it's got something to do with some type of application or
It's
something.
just a computer science class, level
Yeah,
1 and level 2.
yeah, yeah. I know it got something to do with that. But go ahead, explain it. What's the correlation? Because what are you saying this paper proves? We need to know that though. That's gonna help us. Make sure you ain't overdoing it.
What you mean? It's the paper. Well, if we understand, that's why I'm asking, so we can go part by part, right? So it's saying right here very clearly,
Okay, go ahead.
approximately 4,000 years
All
ago.
right, yo, hold on for 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yeah.
all right, Nepal is here to run her show. I'm gonna
Okay.
fall back. I just ask y'all to show some respect, man. That's all.
Why you? Oh, you
No,
just
no,
tell.
I'm talking to everybody, not just. I ain't talking to you, Unc. I'm
Peace,
saying
Nepal.
speaking to
Yeah,
the
no,
panel.
you don't have to use the word respect. It's cool. Peace, everybody.
I want to use respect.
Peace.
Okay, thank you, Senator. But you don't have to leave.
I want to leave.
Yeah, size wild.
Okay. All right. All right, continue, Enqi, please.
Okay, so it says approximately 4,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians used a numbering system that serves as a prototype CS complete example. In this paper, we outline the use of the Egyptian numbering system as an example that naturally extends through CS1, CS2, and discrete mathematics.
Gotcha.
Okay, so what did you take away from that abstract right there when you say you got me?
I mean, you basically saying that the Egyptian system um can be represented as a model, kind of sort of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on, yo. You trying to play me like I'm just a crazy dude, yo. That's what I'm getting.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not trying to play you like you a crazy dude.
I didn't say
Y'all trying
nothing.
to play me like I'm a crazy dude.
No,
so
I
when
never
I
said
come
that.
up here and I say that the Egyptian mathematics system was the blueprint for what we have today in the computers.
I didn't say nothing though. I didn't argue against that, bro.
Okay. All right. So we
Did I? Did I argue on that? What did I say?
I'm almost.
He
certain.
made a claim specifically about the binary system, and I
certain.
called his bluff
How we
because
doing,
that is
Father?
not about counting. It is about on and off, right?
Right.
Represented by a 0 and a 1. The Egyptian system is a 10-base system, and
Provides
it
a
has
bridge, yo.
nothing to do with it. He just
Hey, your mic
overlooked
muted,
it
Cedric.
and stretched it.
I got
All
you.
It's providing a conceptual bridge, though. I mean, I understand that. It's providing a bridge to the next level. That's what I was thinking. But so it's falling like I'm saying. It's steps.
Man
Like
to
I said.
Hercules. How you
Go ahead,
doing?
Hercules.
What's
You
going
don't
on,
overwhoop
man?
it though.
Whatever. It's the pseudo killer. It's time to kill the pseudos tonight, baby.
All right, go ahead. Was I wrong though? Was I wrong, Hercules?
I mean, I want something. So, first thing I want to say is that finally I agree with you on the immigrant piece. I agree with that part. But when we get to the science part, you know what I'm saying? I definitely backing up with Enqi because so if you probably don't know, brother Enqi, my degree is in
Mary and Nicole, man. Then I know I'm right.
Whatever. Here we go. My degree is in mathematics. So when you talk about African science, again, I showed y'all this book when I did my presentation, this book right here, where they go into and they explain the difference in the science.
Whoa.
Can you put that on the big screen?
I gotta interrupt. What is that right there? That is crazy. That's nasty work right there.
Yeah, can you put that on the big screen?
Oh.
What's the name of that book? Can you read that out loud?
It's Introducing African Science. Systematic and African Philosophy Approach. Or African Philosophical Approach.
Woo!
So, well, hold up. This is the thing. I understand you guys' point, Onk's point, and the pseudo killer's point, because I know you guys don't read these type of books because the brothers and sisters on the continent are discussing this topic, and they've been doing it for the past about 15, 18 years. They've been doing this. And so there's truly a difference. And when he goes in, and one of the main things that he says in the book, I forgot the page, but he says that one of the main difference is that when you're doing African science, the principle is you have to include the non-physical into your research. And we know Western culture does not do that. They deny the non-physical world. Okay.
Here you go again. Non-physical doesn't equate to spiritual because we
Let him
understand the
go. Let that
non-physical.
man go, man. You gotta let that man talk, yo. Let him.
Yeah,
I didn't-
Cedric, you gotta
didn't say
control yourself
spiritual.
tonight, brother. Hold on, Hercules. Continue your build. Do not let Cedric's emotional outbursts redirect you. Keep going.
I didn't say spiritual. I just said non-physical world.
So what is that? What is explain that to us, yo?
Not okay. Now, one of the things when we talk about the non-physical realm,
Yeah, what is that?
You know what non-physical mean? It means
I don't, bro. Explain it to me so we have it, because I'm thinking something invisible, not just to the eye, but has no physical properties to it. Because just because you can't say a microorganism does not mean it does not have physical properties. You're talking about something without any physical properties.
Correct.
Basically talking about a ghost, something spiritual. That's all I'm saying. I want to make sure you're saying it.
Correct.
So then Cedric was right then. But thank you. Go ahead, brother.
Correct. Something that does not have physical properties is the non-physical realm. And we know that you could prove these non-physical worlds with mathematics. Mathematics proves non-physical worlds. We know that happens. We know that's true. So when we talk about African science, it's not just a science that investigate the non-physical world. It's also a science that looks into going into a different direction and try to develop tools for humans, develop resources for humans in a better way than what Western science do. Example, like, in Western science, it doesn't care whether or not you do pollution, you're polluting the planet or not. It doesn't, as long as you're making a profit. When you're doing African science, and the reason we're saying African science, the reason we Black science is just because we just trying to come into a common understanding, a common word, because we know that especially in the ancestors and the Kemet, they didn't have a word for it because it was all incorporated into one. So there was no one word to try to describe mathematics, science, and spirituality because it was all one. So that's why.
No, say it again. Slow. Good. I like where you at. Ho. You said something that was important. You said that African science is different from science.
No, I'm saying different from Western science.
Okay, and so the distinction between Western science and African science is they have figured out a way to prove something that doesn't exist in any type of physical property at all. They have figured out like they can actually prove God through African science, through the unseen world.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I want to get in here if I can. I wanted to ask the Herculean a question, and then you can just expound on it, or you can explain. So when you say non-physical and you say that it can be mathematical, that mathematics can prove it, isn't that incorrect? I mean, how can it be physical and how can it be non-physical and still be related to anything mathematical?
Yeah,
what would be your parameters?
A lot of people that's watching right now probably have backgrounds in computer science and engineering, electrical engineering stuff. So they would tell you that when you're dealing with circuits and the loop circuits in electrical engineering, you have to use what is called imaginary numbers. Imaginary numbers do not map to our realm, do not map to the 3D realm. They could only map to the fourth dimension and higher. Okay, so this is the part where mathematics gets into the non-physical realm. Okay, because when you start to do higher math, when you get past differential equations, matter of fact, in differential equations and above topology and like rational points, doing rational points on the curve, if you're doing you get into real analysis and stuff, you start to deal with higher realms and no longer the physical world.
It's all quantitative to the physical world.
So
when you're using numbers, you're using word language incorrect and on purpose. Fourth dimension.
Let me just say this.
Define the fourth dimension. Define for us the fourth dimension. Because what you're doing, slow the conversation down. Fourth dimension. What's that?
You said what? The fourth dimension?
What's the fourth dimension? in computer science? What would be the fourth dimension?
The fourth dimension would be the the fourth dimension. It's just the fourth dimension. What are you talking about? You want me to define it mathematically?
Quantify the fourth dimension. There's a quantification for the fourth dimension.
The fourth dimension.
We call that time, right? And the relation and our ability to compute, especially over quantum time, brings that fourth dimension into play, right? We understand that.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think you do. Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't think you do. Wait a minute, Hercules. Hold on, Hercules. Here's the problem. Wait, here's the problem, Hercules. And because there's a difference between listening versus waiting for your opportunity to talk. And so what Cedric is known for doing is not listening and just waiting for another opportunity to interject because he's looking for a disagreement. All right, so let me just say this. Here's the thing that we have to understand, right? There was a completely different understanding of what physics and what physical meant before the 1900s rolled around. The science of quantum mechanics expanded the definition of what physical means, because when you introduced quantum mechanics went beyond what an atom was. Originally, an atom was what the smallest thing conceivable was. Once we get quantum mechanics, we realize there are things smaller than atoms. And so we have to begin to quantify these things with abstracts. And that's where maybe the language is missing. We have to use abstract concepts because there are things like the uncertainty principle that you can't nail these concepts down. We know they exist because we can infer them from the results of other tests and substances and by what the results are of how they impact us.
Wait,
so we can
infer that uncertainty principle.
Hold on, brother. Let me try to answer her question. Let me see if I can answer it this way. If you use complex numbers, what we call complex numbers today, complex numbers describe the non-physical world. Okay, they describe the fourth dimension. They only map to the fourth dimension in higher dimensions. So there, I hope that answers your question. How can you quantify the fourth dimension? You would have to use complex numbers to map to the fourth. They can only go to the fourth dimension. And I'm saying, and I've said this, that our ancestors had an understanding of that.
So now it can only go to the fourth dimension, right? So there's no dimension.
Okay, thank you, Herculean. Let's hear from Cedric. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Cedric.
So yeah, so we understand how the fourth dimension works, right? Fourth dimension is a representative of time. So when we're using computer modeling and especially quantum computer science, we're going to take the fourth dimension into consideration because the speed at which we're computing, right? He just was talking about fourth dimension. Oh. Now he just rests his case that we go to the fourth dimension because we understand that, right?
Brother,
if you're
relativity, though.
I wasn't allowed to cut you off, right?
That's different.
So now,
it's only one mic.
Then we're going to look at the concept which you correctly said, Nepal. He goes from the inability to explain how you're going to quantify anything mathematically where there are no parameters. And then he talk about the fourth dimension and how computing and numbers are abstract at that level. However, his whole endeavor was the ability to use mathematics to prove God, but he has no parameters because none exist.
Cedric,
hold on, Hercules. Wait. Hercules,
I'm not going to be long. Let me say one thing. I got one thing, Enqi. Okay. Cedric was talking about general relativity. That's different than complex analysis.
Right. And listen, I want you to do is, because listen, you fell for Cedric's baloney. He came in with his interruptions and got you off your square when you was breaking down the book. You got to go back to that. But hold on, Nepal. Can you hit the share screen for me real quick, Nepal, one time for the one time?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, it's right there. That's
one second.
Maybe he has to hit the share screen.
Okay, you should see it.
Okay, here we go. So here's the question we asked. Are imaginary numbers used in electronics? Here's the answer we got. Yes. Imaginary numbers are crucial in electronics,
Agreed.
especially for
That
no. We don't need you to
what we
interrupt.
were trying to
We
establish
don't need you
with
to interrupt.
mathematics, and it's got numbers. We
Control
understand it.
yourself.
He was
You
going to
have to
establish
control yourself.
God
I'm
with his
getting ready to go.
abstract
I'm not
mathematics.
doing this all
Remember,
night with him.
stay focused now. We're not
I'm
talking
not
about
getting ready to do this all
electronics.
night. Nepal.
This thing is
You gotta get
use
control
numbers
over the
to
platform.
establish God.
Everybody, go ahead. Let's let Enqi get this out, and then you can come in, Cedric. Go ahead, Enqi, please.
No, Cedric can't come back in. He gotta relax.
Why? Why can't he come back in?
Because he's not dominating this conversation.
I said you can go ahead and show your what you have.
Hercules got to finish. He totally
Okay.
interrupted
Whoever
Hercules
wants to
too.
come in, go ahead, Enqi. Okay.
Yes,
you got it.
Imaginary numbers. Let me start from. So we asked, are imaginary numbers used in electronics? The answer: yes. Imaginary numbers are crucial in electronics, especially for analyzing AC circuits, because they simplify calculations involving phase shifts and reactance from components like capacitors and inductors, allowing engineers to represent impedance and phasors as single complex numbers. These are the concepts that he's talking about. Cedric wants to take this conversation from something that he's uncomfortable with, because he knows nothing about imaginary numbers. He knows nothing about complex numbers. He knows nothing about electronics. And he wants to turn this into, did God exist or did Jesus exist? So we could turn this into a much lower level conversation where he can thrive at. This is where the conversation was at. And the brother was breaking down this from the book there. So for the people at home, you can simply Google and simply ask, is what the brother's saying 100% accurate, that in electrical engineering they use imaginary numbers and complex numbers. You have no self-control, Cedric. That's why they asked you when you first popped on the platform, will you be able to control yourself tonight? Now, clearly the answer is no.
Wait, Cedric is feeding off what
Nepal, can you repeat your question again to show how this whole
question? I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea, because the imaginary numbers and such is interesting, but he was asserting that he can prove a non-physical realm with math.
Yeah.
And so the understandably, the argument, the pushback would be, how, if dimensions are, defined and quantified with math, with the math that we know, how can he do that?
Because math is being used to detect these dimensions and then expound upon them. And after math proves things that we could not see with our eyes or touch with our hands, then it becomes included in the normal realm of physics, which is the reason why I said quantum mechanics has expanded the definition of what physical is. The definition of what was physical in the 1600s is not the same as what it was in the 1700s, because we had to make room for things that at one time were considered to be non-physical. And those things were proven by math. And so now those things that were considered at one time to be completely non-physical, quantum mechanics has opened up a space where now those things can be discussed within the confines of physics.
Yes.
Right. So would we just say that it is physical then, when we would stop saying non-physical, correct? Once we can prove it with quantum physics, would we stop saying, oh, this is non-physical? And then my point is, I'm going to hand the mic back to the panel. Anybody can get the mic, I mean. So if we say non-physical, and then we know that it can be proven with math and with quantum physics, therefore it's now observable in the natural world, and it's becoming not something supernatural, correct?
Wait a minute.
Anybody?
Okay, here's my
absolutely correct. And that is why I interjected the moment he said African spirituality.
You got one more interruption, and I'm out for the night. I'm just letting you know. I'm just gonna leave.
Non-physical.
Can I hear from Ankh then? If you're having an issue with Cedric, can join the conversation. I don't think he was interrupting, but if it's bothering you very much to get the smoke and the pushback, Enqi, I'm gonna bring Ankh in. What do you have to say about this particular subject?
It's not about smoke and pushback, because me and Unc been going back and forth since Unc came on.
Yeah.
It's the interruption and the unwillingness to answer questions, and then you constantly interjecting ideas and speaking over people in disrespect. That's totally different than pushback and smoke. That's not the same thing. Me and Sa was arguing. Like that's not the same thing. That's a false equation.
Who doing that? And who did that, Enqi?
Your man, you know, with the lips and all that.
Cedric.
Man. Come on.
So where we at? I know y'all done overwhooped the situation. Y'all by now the Egyptians done built spaceships with their math by now.
What I was getting ready to say was that there's a line.
Okay.
There's a line when it comes to physics, and you move into a space of non-physical, especially when Nepal used the word observance. Well, the observer effect is a part of where there's a barrier between actuality and potential. So there's a point where things are discussed in terms of potentials. And so you have wave functions that don't actually represent a wave, but a potential. And that's how physics is now defined. So there's a part where things are physical and tangible, but then there's a space where we can.
That's not the observer effect, bro.
We can only use math to understand these things because they are not physical.
No, the observer effect, yo, that's not. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's right. So wait, Unc, you're right. It's not the observed effect.
He said it, but he said it wrong.
No. What I said was the observer effect is a part of what I'm talking about. The observer effect is about things collapsing from a potential to an actuality. So this is why I'm saying the observer effect is a part of what I'm saying, because before things collapse into an actuality, they exist as a potential. That potential is a non-physical thing only defined by equations, brother.
So yeah, so he's saying that even before they understood that atoms at the quantum level, the math came along.
I'm gonna say this though.
Once the math described the particles, the fermions and bosons, they was able to then detect it, because you cannot. What we could say the fermions are not physical.
Hold on, no. Listen, I got something for you. Let's do this. Based off what y'all saying, there should be byproducts to what you claim is strictly African science. So I'm gonna ask you this question, right? What is the byproduct? What based off of what you claim they had, right? What's the byproduct of that? Remember, you said it's exclusive. It's African science. The book you put up, the book, which is basically talking about philosophy.
I don't remember saying that it was exclusive.
Well,
okay, so then you're saying what I'm saying, that is without that piece, it's like inoculation or variolation. Without variolation, you don't even get to the first generation vaccines. That comes in particular from West Africa into the Americas. So that's what you're essentially saying, that it's a key component in pushing things forward. But I've been said that. And we start off with Pythagoras, right? And it clearly says there's no real date or proof that it was
Pythagoras. You introduced Pythagoras.
No, I didn't. I can't even say his name right. Remember? So I was basically saying that we teach that it's not really it's not, although they're using his name, there's no actual proof that it's not in more than one place at one time, or the date of when it started, and they give credit to the Egyptians and the Babylonians for having portions of it. That's the truth. We don't got to tell our kids that they ain't telling us, and they'll look it up and cuss us out. That's all I was saying, bro.
All right, can I respond to that? Listen. Here's the thing. 3 points. 3 points. I got 3 points. If we were to find today an airplane buried, somewhere in ancient China somewhere that dated back 5,000 years, a complete airplane, maybe broken apart or whatever, are we going to sit there and say that these people did not understand avionics? I don't think.
Understand what?
Avionics.
I don't know what.
Avionics.
What is that? What is that?
It's like when you're dealing with flight, how to fly, and the mechanics of flying. The mathematics, all about airplanes flying.
Hey, Enqi, I did not. Enqi, listen. I said he can't be talking about that in ancient Egypt. That's what I was saying.
No, what I mean?
Like, I didn't know. I said I know what avionics is, aviation and stuff, right? but I said, I know he ain't talking about that.
No, he's giving you a hypothetical
I'm just
example, saying if they found it in China buried from 5,000 years ago, would we then discount Chinese people as having originated the science?
But nobody's discounted. I just read they not discounted. That's the part that's frustrating.
Hold up.
Do you get that though, Hercules?
I get what you're saying.
No. What am I saying? I'm saying why y'all acting
what
like
you're doing is denying the ownership of the intellectual
but they
property.
not denying
people.
that.
Hold on, Enqi. Let me ask you, Enqi. Are you guys saying that?
Really hold on. Change everything on
that bird. My man jumped off the top rope. That was clean. That was clean.
I want to ask you, Enqi.
That was a good cutoff. Hold on.
He just hit us in the back of the head with a chair out the back. Came out the back. That was crazy right there.
Oakland style, yo.
I want Ankh to answer this too. That plane that was found in the Kemetic temple, or I don't know where it was found. Not plane. Sorry, that bird with the wings. They claimed it to be aerodynamic to the point where that flight. You know, they were talking about planes and such. That the Egyptians had some type of form of thought patterns about it. Is that pseudo or is that real, Dr. Enqi?
Ancient aliens. It was on ancient aliens that claim was made.
Yeah, it's on ancient aliens, yo.
That's what it was on.
No, it was an actual model.
No, this is an actual bird that was found with the wings that are not the way wings are made. They go across the back as far as like, and you can fly it. It's a flying bird.
It was a little like a toy.
And are you saying it was only on ancient aliens? Because that's not true.
All right. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. This is how we're gonna do this, so nobody don't cut nobody off and just cutting in. If y'all want to respond to Enqi, remember he's the man here today. Enqi, I responded to his information, and you got to raise your finger up. Raise your finger so I can acknowledge you that you will be speaking next.
Well, I was
quiet. So was she gone?
No, she had to go take care of something real quick.
Oh, all right.
I was already.
Okay, so Rob Kufu, finish up, man.
Okay, Dr. Enqi, can you please elaborate?
Switch the conversation, Rob.
On the bird, if it's a pseudo bird or is that an actual reality thing that science?
Let them experts answer. I'm gonna sit this one out.
What make me laugh is because how you take it.
You ain't sitting this out alone.
No, you know what? No, because
no comment.
Hold up, I'm speaking. Just like the word pseudo doesn't always mean something bad. Cedric acknowledged that the other day. But if you was to just come on here and didn't know what the word meant, the way you guys are using it in context sound like it could be nothing good about the word pseudo, and that's not true.
I use it as a pejorative.
That's what I meant to ask you about the bird. Is that something that scientists are really seriously thinking Egyptians was talking about aerodynamics, or is that pseudo? That's the question.
Yeah, let them two do it. They're gonna help you out.
I'm gonna say no comment.
All right. Let me go to Hercules. What's up, bro?
All right, so I was already speaking. So this is what I'm saying. If they found an airplane in ancient China, dated back, 5,000-10,000 years, are we going to sit here and say that they didn't understand avionics?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That I think that would be disingenuous. Completely. All right. And so my thing is, this is a question. I don't know if I told you this. This is a question that I had with one of my professors about the Pythagorean theorem. Was that how come we credit Pythagoras with finding the Pythagorean theorem when we see actual evidence of right triangles in ancient Kemet? 2,000 years before Pythagoras, 3,000 years before Pythagoras was born. How come we see these right triangles, but we give it to Pythagoras? And his whole argument was the defense was because the Egyptians did not put it in writing. There was no theorem.
They did put it in writing.
Okay, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. This is what I guess like the consensus amongst modern mathematicians.
I just pulled it up, bro.
I know
exactly what it was.
I know, but I'm saying though,
you tricked them.
No. Unc, what you're doing is you just agreeing with me. You just agreeing with me, Unc, and you don't even realize it. And you just
tricked them, yo.
You're discombobulated. You agreeing with me. It's crazy.
I just read it. It's in the encyclopedia, bro. We read encyclopedias around here, yo. We cannot act like we ain't just look at it in an encyclopedia.
And the encyclopedia totally agrees with me.
No, it don't.
So do you. And so do you, Unc. You just don't know how to allow yourself to agree with me.
All right, watch this. Watch this. What is your position, Enqi, on that? Watch this. Watch how clear it get. What's your position?
My position is that
Uh-huh.
there are sciences that was created on the African continent.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, it is the intellectual property of those Africans.
That's your position?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I thought your position was that they're not telling us about our intellectual property that's supposed to be assigned to us. That's what I thought your position actually was. You changed it a little bit. So are you changing for that?
No, sir. That's been my position for a long
Okay,
time.
so then why would you say then the kids need to know? Why would you say that? The kids need to know what? What is it that the kids need to know?
Well, the kids definitely need to know that so that they can understand that they have contributed to the global, their ancestors have contributed to the globe, and they can continue to do so. They don't have to run, jump, bust Dracos, sell bricks, and run around and look crazy to get to real long-term money. Because even when we get to the entertainment business, the reason why they're not able to hold on to the money they're getting into the entertainment business is because they don't own their intellectual property. So they're creating the music, they're creating the beats, they're creating the melody. And because they don't have a concept of owning the intellectual property, they're not getting the money and the royalties, which is why the root of royalties is royal. They're doing the work, they're doing the creative work, but they're not owning the intellectual property.
Right,
and what I'm saying is we're not reaping the benefits because we're not reaping the benefits because we're not claiming the intellectual property.
But watch this. But if your kids can read, they would actually see that they are giving credit to the Egyptians, which are African. Last time I checked, it's right there. That was my hope. They're not hiding it.
So then you are saying that there is a such thing as African science, correct?
No, I'm saying that particular science, right? Math ain't science. First of all, math is proof. Math is not science. Math is not science. I don't want to argue with you.
Hold on. So you're saying that the sciences that were created by Africans is not African science.
I'm saying they give them credit.
Forget credit and all that. I'm just asking you a specific question. The science created by Africans, what you're saying is that the science created by Africans is not African science.
I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do this.
So you're not going to answer that question?
No, I am. I want to answer it like this. If I agree to that, then since we know Africans are some of the first people to start off with math, then we're going to also name math African and just leave it at that.
I'm down with that. Go crazy.
Okay.
We up.
So everything is African then.
We up. Next subject, Sal. What you got?
There you go. All humans are African. See, all humans are African. Yeah, all humans are fundamentally African. Yeah.
Look, I knew are you saying go down without a fight.
No. So all humans aren't fundamentally African, just mutated Africans. We're not going to agree to that. See, so you can't have it both ways. I'm just saying. Go ahead, that part.
All right, yo, let's turn on your cameras if you want to speak. If you want to speak, you got to raise your hand. Let me know you're going to speak. Cedric, go ahead.
Yeah, let me address some of the rhetoric we're dealing with here, and it's about maturity and just appreciating what actually is. Now, Africans hollowed out trees long before anybody else and understood how to build canoes, right? Did they provide us with the formula for buoyancy? So now the formula for buoyancy that came from that eureka moment, right? The understanding of what this is. Are we going to attribute it to Africans because they understood how to hollow out canoes? Okay, this means they understood buoyancy. You see how unbalanced the conversation is, how immature a conversation we're having here right now. This is nonsense. So when we're talking about science, there's a point in time in history that we are talking about science. Science itself is the evolution of us engaging with the natural world. Before you had science, you had natural philosophy. Science is the accumulation of when a particular philosophical thought came into being. Methodological naturalism, a system of which you observe and understand the natural world. Prior to that, we aren't there yet. There are steps. So again, when I listen to my good brother Mansa with his emotional outcry of this Pythagorean thingy, right? It is just to say, well, we didn't give Africans the credit for buoyancy because we got evidence of them building canoes, so they understand how to make things float. So they must be responsible for the formula for buoyancy. The conversation is unbalanced.
They did give him credit. You know, scientists and doctors, they always give credit for where to get it from. You know that though, right?
Yo,
this is something the general public don't understand.
Yo, wait a minute.
One time, hold on, I'm gonna say this one time, y'all can have at it. I am telling you that actual scientists and mathematicians, the like, they always give credit from where they gave it from. That's part of the field. That's what the field does.
Today,
that's what it's supposed to do, and that's what they do today.
Yes.
But and so they got to backtrack, but that's not how it's always been done.
Yeah, I might agree with you on that though. Maybe.
Well, we have to. History tell us that, you know, they wasn't giving blacks credit for anything up until very recently. But what I'm saying is Cedric just made up the fact that Mansa brought up Pythagoras. Mansa didn't bring up Pythagoras. I don't even think he said the word Pythagoras one time on this video. Secondly, is Cedric claiming that Africans did not understand buoyancy? I just want to get you on the record. Cedric, are you saying yes or no that Africans did not understand buoyancy?
Play back the video. You understand what
I'm asking you a question. See, this is what I'm saying. Hold on.
He's asking you a question.
Cedric cannot be up here and answer questions and all that.
No, I didn't say that. I answered your question. No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you
did.
I
didn't say that.
You implied it.
No, I didn't imply that.
Yes,
so he said it didn't have a form.
No,
are you saying that Africans did understand buoyancy? Yes or no?
I said, are we going to attribute the formula of buoyancy to Africans because they understood buoyancy?
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a different question. Let me ask you a different question. So
no, we're not doing 21 questions. No, don't ask me any questions.
Well, then what you doing up here? You got to go.
All questions must be answered, man.
But you don't answer any questions, Enqi.
All questions have to be answered, Joe.
That's a fact.
So ask me your questions. Let's play the game. Let me show you. You can't do your linguistic magic with me. Go ahead. Ask.
No linguistic magic, brother.
Let's go. Ask.
Are you saying that an equation or a formula is required in order to understand a physical?
Did I ever make that claim?
I'm asking you a question. You got to answer it before you go into your spiel.
Why would you ask a silly question based on what I said? That doesn't make any sense.
Cedric, stop. Cedric. He's asking you a question, brother. He's asking you a question.
I'm answering him, right?
Yes or no, brother? Is a formula or equation required?
That's a silly question. It don't make no sense. If you understood what I said, you would understand
what that question is, brother.
So
yes
why would you need a formula? Why would
a formula or an equation required in order to understand?
Did the Africans have canoes prior to the advance of the invention of the formula?
Listen to what I'm asking.
Did the Africans have canoes prior to the invention of the formula? Yes or no? Yes, right? So that means obviously you do not require having the formula to know how to build canoes, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Wait,
obvious, right?
Hold on. You just debunking yourself. Would
you still attribute the formula that was created by Eureka to the Africans?
You're not going to talk over me all night, brother. I'm not up here for this. I'm telling you.
The formula created by Eureka.
11 o'clock.
Are you going to attribute that to the Africans? Eureka is the one that came with the formula.
All right. We got to move on. Let me go to Madam Williams. What's up, brother?
I wanted to ask a question. Like, so you saying mathematics metaphysics don't have anything to do with science? Cedric?
That must go to Enqi and Cedric. Yeah.
No. You got to ask Enqi the question. Enqi is the one that's on the seat right now.
Yeah, well, Enqi, can you elaborate on how mathematics? Because if we could say like 1 + 1 is 2, that's facts. But then when we turn around to science, it's theories, and tomorrow they can figure out something else to add on to what they already done discovered to be true.
Right, because math is the only thing that actually has solid proofs that always are that hold. So math is the only discipline in the science space that and I'll give Enqi that, because he trying to play a word game by saying math is not science.
It's not. It's proof.
But that's no. That's an ongoing debate that's been going on for 200 years. Is math actually science, or is science math?
Come on, bro.
But the problem is that science doesn't have proof. Only math does. And
right, correct.
And so
science doesn't claim to prove anything, though. See, that's the point. Keep going.
That's argument. But hold on. But so the problem with Cedric is Cedric tried to imply something. And he tried to imply, that because the Africans didn't have the formula for buoyancy, that they couldn't understand buoyancy. And then we made him go in a circle. But the thing about mathematical equations is that equations are secondary, maybe even tertiary, to actual geometry. Geometry holds multiple equations. Equations are pulled out of geometry. So you can make the argument that the equations or the formulas were not known in Africa, but that's because they were working with the actual geometry. The geometry is the parent to what you will call today, and is superior to equations and formulas. Geometry holds the keys to all of those things. So when you try to make a false equivalency, like, oh, well, and you try to imply that they didn't know something because they didn't have an equation or formula, that's insane. So I didn't make the claim that math is not science. That's a claim that Enqi made. So, so Enqi would have to clarify what he's saying in terms of, math not being a science or having anything to do with science. You know what I'm saying?
All right, you finished?
I would never make that claim. That sounds insane.
Hey, hold on. I got a call on you. Williams, are you done?
Yeah, because then with buoyancy, you can use mathematics to come up with the formula of buoyancy, right?
And buoyancy is going to come down to geometry.
Okay, I just wanted to give you an alley-oop, man.
No. I got what you're saying, but I want Enqi to be able to explain the mathematics not having anything to do with science. I don't want Enqi to move away from
because
that.
I said science doesn't try to prove anything. Math is proof. So math is a tool of science, right? And they use it in theoretical experimentations, regular experimentations. That's all I'm saying. This is not hard. And so the question to Cedric was, he said it. He said you don't have to know the formula, right? You don't have to know the element chart to do chemical reactions. We see it. We see they put together pigments in different colors. That's protochemistry. They know nothing about the element chart. And to say they do, that's the pseudo part that everybody don't want to. They see y'all don't want to really get with that. I know you heard me. What I said was, you have protochemistry. You do not have to know the element chart or none of the elements, but they made Egyptian blue, bro. This is synthetic color, but they did that. They did not know the element chart, but they had an empirical process that they could do and repeat it over and over again. Same in 150,000 years ago. They had protochemistry. They put together mixtures of chemical and certain things that would keep bugs away, bro. You're not going to sit here and tell me they understood the chemicals that went into doing that. They did not. But they had an empirical process that they could actually repeat this process over and over again.
This is
the difference between a pseudoscientist and the person that's transmitting these ideas correctly.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Enqi.
Yes, go ahead.
What you're saying sounds crazy.
Wow.
So, and I'm going to tell you why it sounds crazy.
Yeah, I can.
Because in order to reproduce, hold on. In order to reproduce Egyptian blue, like you bringing up Egyptian blue, in order to reproduce Egyptian blue, there was very specific ingredients that they had to use. So they absolutely had to understand the ingredients that they were using, and those were chemicals. So
I said they didn't know the element. I said they didn't know the element chart.
Because they
didn't know the elements yet, bro. They had not separated and understood what the elements was, yo. And this is what I said. I said nothing more than that. And I said you still could do it without that. The same way you could understand buoyancy without producing the formula.
Let me ask you a question. Is copper? Wait a minute. Is copper an element? Yes or no?
No. It's an alloy.
I'm done.
No, my fault. Brass is the alloy. My fault. My fault. Brass is the alloy. Nah, brass is the alloy. Copper is the actual metal. There you go. I corrected that.
Okay. And so are you saying metals are not elements?
Yes, I say copper. Yes. Yeah.
So metals are not elements.
I didn't say that. I said, yeah, but bro, I said the element chart. They didn't even know it was an element. They didn't know that.
All right, so you see what you do when you I hope that people watching see what you do when you get in trouble, bro.
I'm not getting. I said yes. It's part of the element. What do you mean, bro? Just because you can work in iron, don't mean you know what iron is composed of.
I said, is copper an element?
I believe it to be. Yes, I believe it to be. Yes. If I'm wrong, I can correct that right now. I'm saying yes.
It is. CU. It's an element.
I said yes. I said yes. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me. And I said brass is an alloy. That means it's not an element. It's a mixture.
Nobody mentioned brass. Ain't nobody mentioned brass.
But I
asked you very specifically about copper.
I made the mistake and said copper was an alloy. I'm just correcting that. That's it. Come on, bro.
So can I request?
So I got my hand up.
Right. No, hold up. Hercules was first. Hercules was first. Go ahead, Hercules. And then
I agree. I agree with what Cedric was saying. And that's what I was saying in my presentation. One of my presentations was that with the ancestors, they did a lot of practical things. And the math came later. They grew up it's like with the spirituality. You know, you growing up in a system, in a world where you're doing rituals and spirituality. You know, if you get initiated into the school, you're going to ask yourself, yo, how can I prove this? How can you mathematically prove this? You know what I'm saying? You're not as a kid, as a teenager, 20, whatever, you're not worrying about proving it. You just accept it. You just know it's real. You know it's true. Like the canoe, like he said, you're carving out a canoe from a tree. You know it's real. You know you can throw it in the water. It's going to float. You're not worrying about, how can I prove this? You're going to do that later. That comes later. So with the ancestors, from what I think, my whole point of view is that they did things. They understood. They understood the world, and they proved it later. They proved that, this is actually real. You could actually prove this. You know what I'm saying? And so that was just my point of view and how I look at it and how I see that they did things. They understood that spiritual realm is real, and they set out to build a civilization based on the fact that the spiritual world infects or implement or has effect on the physical world. So they proved it through building the temples that they built, building the pyramids, and showing you that, hey, all this stuff is has an effect on the physical realm. And so they did it first as practical, but then the mathematics came later. So that's just my point of view, and from what I see and from what I study. So that's just my point of view. That's all.
I think the problem is the wording is killing them. I think it's better to use unseen and seen.
Right.
They understood that the unseen world is the creator and sustainer of the seen world. And to say that they didn't understand chemistry is like insane. You know it's very complicated in order to mummify a body. You have to you have to control oxygen in order to mummify a body. Are you familiar with that concept, Cedric and Unc? Are y'all familiar with mummification?
All right, Cedric, you can speak.
So yeah, let's address some of these things. Yes, and the process of mummification requires, first of all, dehydration, and that's where the salts come in. However, this was trial and error, conceptual versus practical. If you're gonna cut me off, don't cut me off, please.
No, I don't want to cut you off. I just want to.
But you're gonna cut me off.
No. I want to build with you.
I'm done. Go ahead.
So when you say it was trial and error, are you saying trial and error as if trial and error is not built into the framework of science?
Great conversation.
You gotta let the man speak, Enqi. You cutting the brother off. He's trying.
No, we having a build. I just want to make
sure.
No,
you gotta let narrative, and then you can come in with the build. Cedric, go ahead, bro. Don't be like the man. Don't be like.
First of all, he insists on lying pretty much when I speak. Every time he goes, so what you're saying, and then when I'm quiet, he goes and tells people I was inferring something, right? So I'm at the edge of my patience already. And then he doesn't let me get a sentence out, and he starts that straw manning process. So what you're saying, Enqi, these techniques are outdated, and it's not something you're gonna get away with. I'm an actual somebody that actually went to school, Enqi. So stop it. You don't want to see me in the ring. You run away every time I challenge you. Every time I challenge you, you run. Yeah. And then you can't take the conversation, so you do the nonsense of what you're saying without me even finishing a sentence.
Yeah.
Practicality is empirical because you're doing it over and over.
No, let him finish. Let him finish.
And when you get certain results, you quantify the results. This doesn't mean you understand the processes behind this, what is happening. The Stone Age, or even before, men knew how to produce fire. Did that mean that they understood an oxythermic reaction using oxygen? No. They boiled water. Does that mean that they knew 100 degrees Celsius was that point? No. So when you're doing the flim flam, right, is disingenuous to the population. We're sitting here as adults understanding these concepts and watching you take us back 20 years with your nonsense. Stop it. And know what you're saying is. If you're going to ask me a question, ask me a direct question. Stop the nonsense. So what you're saying is that's an indication of a straw man. If you didn't understand what I'm saying, ask me to clarify my point if you're actually being genuine. But this, so what you're saying nonsense is that New York flim flam that doesn't work on an academic level. Silly fool. Grow up.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Bring it out.
Hell out of here.
Enqi.
Stop that stupidness, boy.
So Enqi, is he right when he said you don't want to see him in the ring?
Damn, here's what I would say. Hold on.
Yes or no?
No, it's not yes or no. Here's what I would say. I have video of me challenging Cedric in Cedric's home field on Unc's page in the whatever they call
that. I remember.
I got video of me challenging Cedric and Cedric running away. Does Cedric have video of him challenging me somewhere and me running from the conversation?
Enqi, you want to have the conversation about evolution?
Hold on. No.
Yeah, now I'm rehashing the exact thing you're running from. You made a challenge. You want to have a talk about evolution? I said ERPs and mitochondria prove evolution as beyond a matter of fact. I didn't hear from you again. You shot out a direct challenge and you wanted to substantiate the conversation. I gave you those 2 points as proof of evolution. Do you want to have the debate, Enqi?
I'm asking you a very specific
question. Enqi, do you want to have the debate, Enqi? It was based on the challenge. I addressed your challenge. Do you want to have the debate, Enqi? I'm right here, right now, and this is the challenge. You said you want to have a conversation. about evolution and be specific. I was specific. Mitochondria, and ERVs are evidence of evolution, direct evidence of evolution. Do you want the debate? Yes or no, Enqi?
Listen.
Yes or no, Enqi? Yes or no? It's
all right, Cedric. All right, he no, he ain't answering.
He's saying no.
No. I'm not saying no. He's talking over me doing this game.
Let him go, Cedric.
This is a game. He made a claim and said that he'd been challenging me and I've been running from him. I said that I have video of the opposite and then asked him to substantiate his claim. And instead of substantiating his claim, because you know over here we're supposed to source it up. So instead of doing that,
let him speak, brother. Don't cut him off.
So instead of doing that, he's now responding with another goalpost moving. So you want to challenge me on ERVs and mitochondria right now? I'll challenge you to a debate right now. I'm asking you first.
Y'all niggas crazy.
Can you prove your claim, or are you a liar? Just for the people. Just are you a liar, sir? Yes.
So right now I'm proving my claim. What's the deflection?
Can
I'm proving my claim right now.
So can
you put the challenge out on Saturday. I came up, addressed the challenge. You ran just like you're running now. So I'm proving my point because you're running right now. Right now you're running. I'm proving that you ran before. Right now you're running because you won't say yes. Look, right now you're running. We ain't got to go nowhere. It's evident for everybody to see. Right now you're running.
People, listen, if the people want to pay to see that debate, I'll debate you.
You see, read King Simon thing.
The past is the past. Are you going to debate or not, man?
Right. Huh. I think the past is predicative of now. I mean, first we need to establish that he's a liar, and then we can move on to the fact that I said if the people are willing to pay. Hold on. If the people want to pay to see me and Cedric, I'll do it.
I'm gonna pay. Ain't that enough?
I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna split your $30 4 ways. But yeah, if you want to see that, I have no problem debating with Cedric or anybody else.
Yeah, but what would be the topic though?
Whatever he just came up with.
Yeah, Cedric trying to show you that you could actually most inventions in science is serendipity anyway, just by sheer accident. So I don't know why people don't understand it. A lot of it is serendipity, right? So if you look at this screen right here, look, Saul, and I'm explaining what Cedric has said 100 times. In this article is the history of chemistry. Okay? All right. Simple as that, yo.
Yo, right. You live on Wiki, bro.
I do. Because that's all y'all can understand. If I do anything more than that, there's a lot of flim-flamming. So I want to keep it right here. So listen, here you go. Arguably, the first chemical reaction used in controlled manner is fire. You act like you ain't know that. He said that. He talked about fire. He said, but did they know the chemical properties of it? See, he said that. He said, however, in millenniums, fire was seen simply as a physical force that could transform one substance.
Okay, hold on. Before we continue.
Nah.
Are me and Cedric debating or not? Are we doing a debate or what?
Let me finish the point. Here, paint. 100,000-year-old orchid processing workshop found at Bloemblaas Cave in South Africa. It indicates that early humans had elementary knowledge of mineral processing. It said paintings drawn by early humans consist of early human mixing. Animal blood and other liquids found in the cave walls also indicated small knowledge of chemistry, right? And I talked about this in my presentation that I did earlier. And these things were representative of symbolic thought, right? Which would later on lead all the way to monotheism. We can fill a space in the middle. But Cedric was right.
And let me ask you a question.
I had to know the element charts. But go ahead. Talk about the debate.
I'm asking you a question. Mm-hmm. Did the scientific method or the empirical observations that later on became the scientific method, did that begin in Kemet?
Yes, it did. Portions of it did.
Grand opening, grand closing.
I said,
I got you. Portions of it did. I got you. Now, am I debating this dude here, this chump
What are we doing?
Empirical method predates that.
I'm having a tune-up fight.
Empirical method
What
predates
am I
that.
doing with this guy?
The empirical method predates that. The empirical method led to the domestication of wild plants. The empirical method led to the domestication of animals. However,
hold on.
Imperialism is but observation. That's not science yet. Science you get when you develop methodological naturalism, which is a system developed late in the 1800s. These are steps along the way. All human development, they understood repeating process.
That's the debate right there. Said it. Pull it back.
That's the debate right there. That's what we debating right there. That the methodology associated with the scientific theory was not created until the 1800s. That's the debate right there.
Yeah, it doesn't come. It doesn't come to. It doesn't crystallize until then.
Book it. Run it up. Book it.
Book it. So we're gonna use the precise date. We're gonna use the precise date when my good friend came up with the theory, and we're going to follow the development of it. So you're not going to hold me to an arbitrary date that I said now.
Something wrong with Enqi.
All right, with that, y'all, I got to say I'm out of here, man.
Something wrong with Enqi, yo.
I'm out of here, y'all.
Enqi is gone, yo.
All right. Peace and blessings to everybody. Thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate the donation, brother.
I'm going to call you, Saul. I'm going to call you.
All right. We out of here, man. Peace.